You will not believe the stupidity that nearly cost me $30,000. And it all started with a cabin. Not just any cabin, my late father's mountain hideaway, tucked so far into the Rockies that you lose cell signal halfway up the road. It had been in my family for 40 years. No neighbors, no paved streets, and absolutely no HOA. Or so I thought, until a letter arrived that changed everything. It was late autumn, snow powdering the pine branches, when I pulled a thick, cream-colored envelope from my mailbox. The return address read High Ridge Estates, Homeowners Association. I did not live in High Ridge Estates. In fact, my cabin was 7 miles away from the nearest property they managed. But inside, in an official-looking font, was a notice of violation, accusing me of unauthorized exterior paint, non-regulation fencing, and failure to maintain community landscaping standards. They demanded $30,000 in fines, due within 30 days, or they would place a lien on my property. Enter Cynthia Harwood, HOA president, 49 years old, a smile as thin as the paper she printed her threats on, and a reputation in town for using that HOA rulebook like a weapon. She'd been running High Ridge Estates for a decade, and in that time, no one dared challenge her. Her nickname around the county? The Duchess. The problem was, the Duchess had a map, and my cabin was not on it. Their jurisdiction ended at mile marker 12. My property line began at mile marker 19. 7 miles of county land stood between us. So why target me? Because, as I found out later, she wanted my land for herself. The cabin sat on a ridge with the best view in the county, perfect for the luxury rental she'd been dreaming about, and her HOA's war chest was running low after a string of failed lawsuits. The letters kept coming, each one more absurd. Violation for improper snow removal, even though I was the only one plowing my own driveway. Violation for unauthorized livestock, which was apparently my neighbor's 3 goats, not mine. By letter 3, she was threatening foreclosure. I drove down to the HOA office, a converted model home at the entrance to High Ridge Estates, to confront her. Cynthia sat behind a massive desk, flanked by 2 board members who looked like they'd stepped out of a bad courtroom drama. "You're trespassing," she said, without looking up from her laptop. "No," I replied, "you're trespassing on my rights." I slid a copy of my property deed across the desk. It clearly showed my land was not under HOA governance. She barely glanced at it before smiling. "We'll see what the court says," she purred. That was her mistake. I am not just a cabin owner. I am a land surveyor with 15 years of experience reading property plats, and a brother who happens to be a civil attorney. Over the next month, I built my case like a fortress. County GIS maps, historical property lines, HOA bylaws, state statutes on jurisdiction, and the smoking gun, a 1998 court ruling that had already determined High Ridge Estates borders. When we finally stepped into court, Cynthia looked confident until the judge asked her to produce the original annexation documents. She could not, because they did not exist. Then came the witness testimony. A former board treasurer admitted under oath that the HOA had knowingly issued fines to properties outside their jurisdiction to supplement dwindling reserves. Translation: they were extorting people. The judge's ruling was brutal and beautiful. Case dismissed with prejudice. The HOA ordered me to pay my legal fees, refund every fine collected from out-of-bounds properties, and face a county audit. For Cynthia personally, the district attorney opened an investigation into fraud and misuse of HOA funds. Last I heard, the Duchess had stepped down, claiming health reasons. In reality, she was negotiating a plea deal. So if your HOA tries to tell you what color to paint your walls, or fine you for a property they do not even control, remember this: jurisdiction is everything. Check your maps, read your deeds, and never, ever assume they will play fair. What would you have done if you were in my boots? Drop your thoughts below and stick around, because next week's HOA nightmare involved a board president who used fake wildlife reports to block a neighbor's home edition. That revenge was absolutely beautiful. Thanks for watching this video.